After coming here to Fort Valley State University, um, this is my this is going into my seventh season, and with the little success that I've had in terms of wins or losses, I think I've had a lot of success in terms of growing the program, establishing a culture, and also bringing in the right kind of student athletes. When I first interviewed for this job back in 2011, I saw the potential. I really appreciate Dr. Caldwell, who was the athletic director during the time, of expressing interest in me. I think he made an effort in bringing me here and outlining the things that I needed to do to be successful. One of the things that has been the downfall is that we haven't had the greatest scholarship situation, but that has given me an opportunity to grow in some other areas, learning how to do more with less, and that's where a lot of our success has really came from. But in terms of me developing as a head coach, I think I've done a pretty good job with that. I think that I've gotten here and really established a really good culture in terms of bringing in the right student athletes, graduating our kids, and then also putting a competitive set of student athletes on the court where we can compete year in and year out for a SIAC championship. Last year, 2016, 2017, one phase of me want to forget it, but the other phase of me want to go ahead and establish another foundation in terms of us being successful. The part I want to forget is the championship game, of course, where we lost a heartbreaking 2-point loss to Clark Atlanta, and but the other phase of me really like the way that we're coming along. I think that loss has taught our whole team a lot, and we're returning 7 kids, and trust me, those 7 student athletes, they remember what happened last year. They remember how we lost, and then it's also they know what we have to do this year to be successful. I think we've done a really good job of putting some pieces together to go along with the 7 kids that we're returning. The kids that we're returning are the 7 kids that we're returning. Those student athletes are, of course, are mostly guards. Starting all the way from number. This year he changed his number. Shaq, he'll be number 3. To Jamal Garor, who wears number 1. To Gerald Bryant, who wears number 12. Jalen McMillan, number 11. Tyler Edwards, number 4. James Barnes, 0. So we think with those kids, with just those kids coming back, we're going to be competitive. But with the kids that we've added, has really given us a chance. Has really given us the chance to be successful this year. This year, one of our main goals, and probably the most important thing that I stress to our guys every day, is I want each and every player to allow themselves to be coached. And what I want them to do is learn our system. Early on, with having eight new guys, we're going to take some bumps and bruises. We're going to struggle a bit, but I think if they learn what we're trying to do, and as I stated earlier, I was kind of cross between our teaching method. Should I teach our system? Should I teach basketball, or should I just work on culture? Just keep trying to change the culture of how we want to do things. What Fort Valley State basketball is all about, what being a student athlete is all about, the whole concept of just a college atmosphere. And we kind of mixed all of that together. We kind of mixed all of it together, whereas our teaching, trying to build on last year. So now we're not talking about just wins or losses. What we're talking about is getting better every single day, getting better at practice, getting better during the games, getting better with your attitude, getting better on the court, and being better off the court, just being better student athletes. And so with all that combined, that's my biggest expectation, just for us to get better. I would really like to be picked last, and that might sound crazy, but it's nothing like extra motivation, and where a kid is motivated to when you look back and you see that people don't expect much of you. Now you kind of reach within and find some extra motivation in terms of come to practice every day, looking forward to working, finding a way when you think you're tired, when you've been on a long road trip, finding that extra motivation to do better, to play better than what you normally played. And I know it might sound crazy. Of course, everybody would like to be number one, but to be picked first in October and then finish last in February makes no sense. So for us, I would love to be picked last. Give us a little extra motivation, give us a little extra incentive to just work hard and play hard. We kick off our schedule with Alabama State on October 30th, which is next Monday. And the biggest thing I'm looking for in that game is for our guys to compete. And we want to get better. If we win that game, so be it. But we don't want it to be fool's gold, because still it's early in the season. We still have a lot of work to do to get better. We don't want one game to the finals, or we don't want 2 or 3 games to the finals. But what we want to do is establish our style of play. And if we're up by 10, if we're down by 10, we're going to play our style of play. So when it gets down to February, we'll be comfortable with what we do. After Alabama State, then we go down to Savannah State, which is another Division I team. And you can always use those games in terms of kids wanting to play teams on another level. Those teams, after Alabama State play us, Savannah State play us, they go and play Michigan, Georgetown. They play major college schools. So we felt like if we can compete with those schools, we can compete with anybody in the country. And those games really help us. After we finish those games on November 7th, which is our exhibition season, and now we go down and play at West Florida, who's tough. They finished second in their division last year in the Gulf South Conference, and we play Valdosta, who was tied for first with UAH, who's ranked every year. UAH finished the season last year ranked 7th or 8th, and so those would be 2 other tough road games. After that, we go down and play Shaw University and play Winston-Salem. We play the number 1 and 2 team in the CIAA. Winston-Salem was ranked first in their division. Shaw is ranked second. So those would be some really good road games for us. And it's also a test. It's also a test. We want a tough schedule. So now that's going to make practice better. Kids will tune in more. Kids will pay a lot more attention because they'll know what's at stake. After being here this is my 7th season, and I really love our alumni, our fan base, and our friends. I think they have treated me really well. They have done a good job of supporting us. But I think that it can go to another level. I think that we can get a few more fans in the seat, from the student body to the alumni to some family to some friends, and because that's our 6th man. The fan base becomes your 6th man, and also help with momentum. A lot of times people think support is all about financial support, all about money, but the kind of support that we're looking for, we want our fans to come out and even pick a certain player to cheer for. Find somebody that that might be your underdog. Find a kid that might be a kid that you think that's overachieving. Find a kid like that to kind of ride his coattail. But I would love for each and every one of our fans to really support us this year, and not just at home, but find a way to get to a road game. Find a way to come out of town. When we take a long road trip, but being able to look over and see some blue and gold in the stands, it just changes the whole atmosphere of these kids' mindset. So, with that said, looking forward to seeing everybody this year. We have a very exciting schedule, and we would really love your support.